In this video, we're going to find the inverse of 2 by 2 matrices by hand. All right, so I know our calculator can do it, but if your teacher asks you to do this by hand, what you first need to do is find the determinant of this 2 by 2 matrix. Remember, that's when you multiply down this diagonal. So we're going to say 2 times -2 minus, it's always a minus right here, -2 times 1, going up the other diagonal. So down one diagonal minus multiplying up the other diagonal. This is going to give us a -4 minus a -2. -4 plus 2 is what this is, so that's a -2. That's the determinant of this matrix. And then what you want to do with that is you want to write, to find the inverse, you're going to say 1 over that determinant, and then you're going to take it times this matrix kind of shifted around a little bit in a special way. The way it does that is that these two elements are going to switch spots. So now my -2 is going to be up in this corner. My +2 is going to be down in this corner. And then the signs on these two are also going to switch. So this was a +1, so now it's going to be a -1. This was a -2, so now it is going to be a +2. All right, so if I replace this DET, the determinant, with the number that I found, which was -2, remember it's 1 over that times our new matrix, that kind of weird setup. If I multiply that in, that should be my inverse of this 2 by 2 matrix. All right, so let's try this. This is going to be -1/2 times -2. So that's a -2 over -2. I might write out like fractions at first. This one would be -1 over -2. This would be 2 over -2. And the last one would also be a 2 over a -2. Okay, if I simplify these just a little bit, I think this is going to give me a 1, a 1/2, a -1, and another -1. So you can say that the inverse of, maybe I'll call this matrix A, so I'll say A inverse equals 1, 1/2, -1, -1. Let's try one more with a 2 by 2 matrix. All right, for number 2, we're going to go a little bit quicker this time. First thing I need to do is find the determinant of this matrix. So if I multiply down this way, that's going to be 20, 2 times 10, minus multiplying up the other way, that's going to be 10 as well, -2 times a -5. And so if I do the math here, that gives me 10. All right, so I can say the determinant of matrix B equals 10. And then I want to write 1 over that determinant, 1 over 10, times that kind of special matrix where we shift around the different elements a little bit. So the top ones are going to switch, this diagonal are going to switch spots. So now this is a 10, and this is going to be a 2 down here, as well as the signs switch on these. So they were both negative, now they're going to both be positive. This will be a +5 and a +2. All right, multiply that 1/10 in, and let's see, a 10th of 10 is 1. A 10th of 5 is going to be 5/10, or you could say 1/2. A 10th of 2 is 2 over 10, which is 1/5. And same thing, a 10th of 2 is also 1/5 here. Okay, so the inverse, I'll say B inverse equals 1, 1/2, 1/5, and 1/5. And that's how you find the inverse of 2 by 2 matrices by hand.